down. Just
Absolutely.
I will tell you, when I smoked my first cigar at Nicky Blaine's in Indianapolis,
Great place.
I felt different.
was a great place.
It was a great place.
Their selection
Is
man.
correct.
The place. very
Yes.
nice.
The service has went down so bad.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to say it on. And that
hurt
Gus
bad.
knows how
That's
I
too
feel about
bad.
Nicky Blaine's.
Yes,
and
'cause it's a great
because
place.
we took what? There was like 14 of us that went
Yeah,
up there.
yeah.
It's
Amazing service.
place, amazing. But the service has went down so bad, and I will say it does have something to do with that guy down the street, Rocky Patel, who opened up
absolutely.
Burn. That place is freaking phenomenal, and I got a chance to actually meet him.
Yep.
He is such a great guy. He took the time
Smart as
to
a whip,
talk to everyone. Took the time, and I got a picture with him that will go on the
Good
wall.
entrepreneur.
The
I'm sure
wall.
you will do the same.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I know you will.
Absolutely.
I met him at Strauss downtown. Mm-hmm. One of the smartest guys.
He was at
in the cigar
Strauss?
game. Oh yeah.
Wow.
He does a lot of business with Strauss.
Yeah.
And Strauss used to
Really?
be about the only game in town since
Yeah,
then.
yeah, for a long time.
And even now, it's still the third oldest continuously running cigar shop in the country.
Wow.
Now, you want to hear some interesting conversation? Go and sit in Strauss.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to hear some interesting conversation?
And so that's where I really got into cigar smoking with other people around. And I'm surrounded by people. One of them is now, he's a judge, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, federal judge. One of them is a very successful, very, I'm going to say gregarious because it's a polite way of saying what I mean to say.
Right.
Bankruptcy attorney.
Nice.
You get, back in the day, we used to get some weirdos came in off the street. There was a woman who would tell you that her daughter was Britney Spears and she owned Coca-Cola.
Wow.
I mean,
She might have been in the hospital I worked at,
I believe it.
Richmond State Hospital Mental Institution.
Well, if not, she really belonged.
Yeah. Well, hey, we had Elvis Presley on our ward, and we had a football player. It was actually a woman that was prescribed a football helmet because she fell over so often she would bust her skull. So
Wow.
she walked around with a football helmet.
You can find some interesting people down there. Jose Rio came
Absolutely.
down one. I mean, they just come in, and it's just everybody's just like in chill mode. At
Big
all
John
times.
used to come down.
Yes.
The Big O, Big Oscar.
Oh, Oscar always is in there. Yeah.
Oscar, yeah. I mean,
Oscar's always in there.
He's since moved, sadly, but I remember that. I accidentally insulted the VP of vending for the Reds Stadium.
Yeah,
He's like, I don't understand why people aren't coming in. I was like, it's probably because you're charging $10 for a Bud Light.
Hey, he just couldn't take a joke.
Well worth it.
He got up and left. I was like, oh, man. That hit harder than I meant. I refuse to apologize for it, though.
that's right. I understand.
No, I think so. Cigars for me it was a decompression time when we were in Afghanistan, and we would run missions, and you'd come back at the end of the night, and you're not going to sleep. There's no TV. There's no internet.
Right.
So I'd sit out back in a little lounge chair.
Right.
And they shipped us cigars from that
It's
Cigars for
absolutely-
Soldiers.
Yeah.
Cigars for
that is-
Warriors, yes.
Yep.
That is
And,
that is one thing I want you to be the face of for me when I open my bar, because I will be doing that. Cigars for
I
Soldiers.
think it's we would get a box, and you get some surprisingly high quality stuff,
Yes,
and
sir.
then some regular low quality stuff. But it didn't really matter,
Right.
Because at this point, it wasn't about the quality of the cigar. It was about myself and my senior NCO.
Yes, sir.
Sitting out back and just decompressing.
I concur
And
with that
and we're watching the frogs, probably toads. It's the desert. I guess they're probably toads. I don't know what the hell. And the toads would come out at night, and in Afghanistan there's no lights except the lights around the perimeter, so you can see the Milky Way. You can see everything, and it was just an opportunity to dial back from the activities of the day.
Right.
And it was important. Like that was vitally important to me to have that moment, that hour and a half. I'm not planning. I'm not, dealing with,
Right.
soldiers or whatever.
Decompressing.
Yeah, complete decompression time.
Yes, sir.
And without that cigar, it wouldn't have been the same.
Right.
It would not have been the same. So
I agree with you.
It was important.
It's important to me too at home. With all those kids, I feel like I was in Afghanistan with you. When I walk out of the house and I go into the backyard and I sit, and the kids know the rule. They're like, "Dad's smoking." Like, just
don't bother him.
don't
Yeah.
do it. Don't do it.
And my soldiers knew. I mean, they would wait if there was something, unless it was, we're getting shot at or rocketed or something. they didn't bother me. They knew that was my moment.
One of the interesting things, like to Gus's point about the manhood and cigars, if you check movies, some of the most manliest men in movies, they always stick a cigar in their mouth.
Well, unless it's
Unless
or the bad guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. The bad because their view of the cigar
Yes.
is it's smelly and it's
industrialist.
big, and so
Mr. Big,
they get the
I'm
big
the big
guy
kahuna.
a cigar.
I'm the big kahuna,
But yeah, you're right, and
which is an actual
I mean,
cigar.
and
It is.
I think there's that sense that I'm bold enough, I'm man enough to smoke this cigar and enjoy it. And you're kind of saying, frankly, I don't give a shit if you don't like it or not.
That's true.
This is my time. This is me, and I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to invade your space, but
Right.
if you don't like it, then go somewhere else.
A lot of people don't understand, and Gus,
we're
you
all
agree with this.
outside now, so
It's a culture.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
truly, as I got into it more and more and more, and I'm about, I want to say I'm probably about 14 years in now smoking. Oh my goodness, 14. Damn, I'm old. Anyways, it is a culture.
Yeah.
But it's such a laid back culture.
Yeah.
Such a laid back culture.
and everyone gets along.
Yes.
Yeah.
Politics don't matter.
No,
That's why
no.
it's even part of the, the reason for the podcast, because cigars aren't about politics.
That's true.
Or religion. It's about friendship and fellowship.
That's true.
And guys getting together and enjoying each other's company.
Yeah.
Listening to music or,
Yeah.
hanging around at the fire. It doesn't matter. We're having a good time every time.
Yeah.
And for all you corporate people out there, you want to network? Start
Absolutely.
smoking cigars.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You will learn a ton. Free knowledge.
Absolutely.
Free knowledge. I've learned a ton of knowledge by smoking cigars. I've met a lot of interesting people. I've met a lot of famous people. But the one thing that I love about it is that everybody's just the same.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, oh, look at such and such over there. It's just like, oh, look at Jose Rios down at Strauss. Oh, okay. He's
Hey,
smoking a
guess
stick.
who was at my orthopedist? Jungle.
Oh,
Jungle was there.
You
Yeah.
can pick up a lot of great sticks there.
Yeah.
You can pick up a
and
lot of
he
great
saw
sticks
me.
there.
He recognized me. He came over, sat down, and we chatted it up a little bit.
All right.
But
To
Jungle.
correct what I said earlier, Austin, could you please say the correct name of Ben's place? Because I was actually serious when I said that, but I did get the name wrong.
It's
Even though
coming.
I'm there like fucking at least twice a week.
Nobody ever looks at the sign. Once you know it's there, you don't have to.
Right.
But I do want to plug Ben, so
It's Covington Tobacco and Liquor in
Yes.
Covington, Kentucky, right across the border from Cincinnati.
they do have a good humidor, and Ben
do.
will help you. He will guide you.
And Ben is a legitimate cigar smoker.
Yes, he is. He tends to guide me towards the more expensive shit. I will say that he does. He's like, oh, Carlos, come over here, and I'm like, dude.
He's a salesman.
But
He's
he
an
does. He
entrepreneur.
is a good salesman because he gets me. And there's been a couple I've liked, and there's been a couple I'm like, nah, not so much.
And I'll tell you,
But
we're in a place where it's getting hard to find a really good cigar.
it
under
really
$7.
is. It really is.
You know, and I mean Southern Draw, they all run 9
Oh,
to 10.
you cannot go wrong. Start with the Jacob's
Annie's.
Ladder.
Don't start with the Jacob's
Okay,
Ladder.
so-
It is dark as dark can
Should
be.
they start with the Rose?
I would absolutely recommend starting with the Rose. It's a nice Connecticut wrap.
That's for
Light.
newbies. If you start with the Rose.
For people learning the brand, you know. If someone wants to smoke an Ashton, you don't.
I did that on purpose. You know that.
Speaking of plug, it's time for us to plug our second sponsor.
Yes, indeed.
A&E Signs, which, by the way, the owner, Anthony Meyer, today's his birthday.
Oh,
Tony Mayer.
Wow.
Mayor.
Happy
Mayor.
birthday.
Thank you for that correction. So
No wonder Tony got a haircut.
Happy birthday to you,
Happy
Mr. President.
There you go.
I don't know about all that, Jim.
That's my best. I thought that was a pretty good Marilyn Monroe.
well,
No comment.
Jeez, no love tonight.
A&E signs.
I get a guy's name wrong and I'll give freaking torpedo.
The fact you were trying to take your shirt off during it probably helped.
A&E
Go ahead.
Signs is truly a full-service sign company. They design, manufacture, install, and service. Their plant is in Cincinnati. In addition to the normal sign fabrication, they fabric TV towers, ATM surrounds, canopies, and destination wayfinding sculptures.
Hey, does he do fluorescence? Like
Yes,
neon?
he does. Yes, he does.
I need to get a man cave
So he
sign.
does. So the sign that's on top of what is that? The Great American Building.
Yeah.
That is
He
Tony.
did that.
No, but do they do like small tubular?
Yes.
We
Yes.
need to get a man cave
We
sign.
need to get him
We
here.
do
He
need
needs
a man
cave
to
sign.
get him here.
Yeah.
So shout
I
out to A&E Signs.
Yeah, Straight.
We'll get him here.
Yeah, no, I think that would be amazing. I bet.
I'll tell you
Some
what
wall
else.
space.
I believe, I'm not sure he got the contract, but he was in the running to get the contract for the Florence Y'all, which is their farm baseball.
He would have
Right.
did a phenomenal job.
If that's him, that's going to last
It's
forever.
him.
Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah.
I believe
His work is great.
Phenomenal.
Impeccable.
Send me his info. I want to price
I'll
something.
definitely send.
Yeah, please. Thanks.
He also used to sit on the board of the American Sign Museum, I believe, which is in Cincinnati. Which, if
Wow.
you've never been, fun place to look through.
No, you know what? Somebody actually told me about that when we first came here. They mentioned the American Sign Museum. I have not gone, I'll admit. They weren't a very good salesman pitch. They were like, yeah, dude, there's like signs of everything. And I'm like,
All right.
all right.
It's
All
like
right.
the
So,
highway.
does anybody else have any a special cigar that you smoked in a special time at all?
I
What you got? What you
got
got,
one.
Austin?
My son Connor was born in 2020.
Congratulations.
And right before he was, or 3 months or 4 months before he was going to be born, Tatawahe came out with their TAA 2020.
Okay.
And I bought a box. I'm like, oh, I'll smoke one on every one of his birthdays. The last two we'll smoke together when he's 18.
Oh,
Nice. That's good.
dude, I love that. Now I gotta find. Now I have to do the same thing. I'm still in that. I'm still in that. For me and Xavier, that's my son's name.
Let me tell you something. They're coming out with a TAA 2022 Tatawahe at the end of this year in November.
So, to your point, let's talk about a little bit about pricey cigars. Now, I will admit I do smoke some pricey cigars. My boy Gus, he gets on me all the time. Like, man, those five. Like, I just went to Gatlinburg and I kind of put on Facebook the 5 cigars that I took, and Gus was like, man, that's a box right there. That's a box right there. But I am a little snooty. I am a little snooty when it comes to my sticks. I won't lie. But I will say, I did finally find an everyday cigar, Gus.
Really?
It's $5 and around $5.50
What is
a
it?
stick. It is the Corojo Grand Habana Corojo number 5.
Yeah.
I could smoke that
That's an
every
everyday
day.
stick.
I could smoke
That's
that
a-
every day.
that's an everyday
It's a
stick.
good stick.
Yeah.
It's a good stick.
I know a lot of people
So-
do that. For
And it
an
won't
everyday
break the
cigar.
bank.
And it won't break
No, and you can take it golfing if you leave it
Yeah.
on the tee box. It doesn't break your heart.
I'm not leaving those cigars.
Just light up
nowhere.
another one.
Right.
I'm not doing it.
I've done that before, though.
And to Gus's point earlier, what he said about people borrowing cigars and asking for cigars, I just don't do it.
I stopped.
You know, and I know it. That sounds like crappy. Like, oh, you should give somebody a cigar if they want one. You know, you want them to become part of the culture, but they tend to smoke it and leave almost like
Half of it or 3/4 of
half
it,
or
yeah.
3/4, and I can't. Even
It
if it's a
hurts your
$5.50
soul.
stick, I can't do
Some
it.
of our guests have left some cigars. And
Yeah.
I just cut it. I cut it. I smoked the rest of it.
You know what? There was I believe I gave someone. I'm not going to say no names. Go back and listen to all the podcasts of the Gus and Los show, and you'll know who it was.
Right.
I did give someone a El Jefe, which Ben knows is one of my favorite cigars.
It was a she, wasn't it?
No, that wasn't a she.
No?
I don't know
No,
who that was.
no.
Oh, okay.
It was a guy.
My bad.
It was a guy.
One of our
My
male
And
guests, yeah.
he smoked probably about a quarter of it, not even a quarter. And Gus was on the phone with me. I was on the way home. He's like, "Hey man," he said, "You know what? I'm about to cut this." and I'm gonna smoke.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Don't waste it.
That's another one that didn't die.
You got
That's another one that won't die.
Yeah.
It's a nice girthy cigar.
Yeah.
La Roma de Cuba El Jefe.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. That's one of my go-tos.
La Roma de Cuba, the smaller sizes, that's one of my kind of daily,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to do something, I might have to throw
What's
this.
it, the Monarch? I think the Monarch is like, it's
Yeah.
like yay big. Yeah.
And over at Ben's place, you can get it for